everybody, it's the 2-5 Tuna boys again here with you on another rainy Outer Banks day. I'm Grady Edwards, over media here for 2-5 Tuna, and I am here again in the Warroom with Dave Hollister, who is the president, CEO, head honcho, big kahuna, boss man. Dave, thank you for allowing me to be here, and let's talk a little bit about how you got into tuna fishing, because this is one of our opening episodes. You know, talk about your experience as a tuna fisherman and how you got into it in the first place.
I mean, it's a long story, really. I mean, I can tell it quick, but it's yeah, I grew up fishing.
Sure.
I was obsessed with fishing, which I still am.
Sure.
And
saltwater or freshwater?
Well, growing up freshwater.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So my dad introduced me to fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Bobber.
Sure.
With a worm.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that bobber,
right,
done. That was game over for me.
Sure.
That was, I don't know, when I was probably 6, 7 years old, something like that. So even then, I was just like, he was like, hey, I got stuff to do. I was like, I'm out there, man. I'm like, then it went from there. High school, I lived in Seaford, Delaware.
Nice. And
we lived right on the Williams Pond, which is, it's probably like 3 miles long, but I bass fished that place.
Oh, yeah.
I knew every square inch of that place.
Sure.
And then I started tournament bass fishing and all that.
Got the itch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kept going. And then got in the Coast Guard. And they were like, you're going to the Outer Banks. We're banishing you to the Outer Banks.
Right.
And we're like, oh no, not me.
Right.
Put me out here. Then I started inshore fishing out here.
Sure.
And then they were like, you're going to be leaving here and you're going to be going to Hawaii.
Oh, and you were like, jackpot. You had to be skipping.
So I took my boat to Hawaii.
Wow.
They had it shipped out there. 18-foot center console. Got to Hawaii, and then I started fishing. The only place you can fish is in the ocean in Hawaii, pretty much. There's a couple inshore places, but mainly ocean. So I just started dragging lures out there, trying to figure that out.
Right.
And then once that first tuna hit, out there, I was in Hawaii for 10 years. The first year I started catching tunas, and it was a done deal. I was like, oh my god, because the whole thing. It's like, it's the excitement of catching it.
Sure.
Then it's also the excitement of like, wow, I have an amazing fish that I can eat here.
Right.
Like, and there's so much you can do with it. Like, it's eat it raw, eat it sashimi.
Right.
You can cook, cook it a million different ways, or you can make it into sushi, or you can freeze it. Not recommended, but you can freeze it and cook it later, fish taco style.
Sure.
I mean, it's endless what you can do with it, and it's.
And correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of the Hawaiians, that's why they get into fishing, right? It's not so much commercial from the standpoint of, hey, we're doing this for kind of entertainment. It's not only can I go out here and catch the fish, which is obviously fun, but it's the kind of the reward after of having this unbelievable meal right in front of you, or basically for you to prepare.
Man, that's a super deep thing there.
Yeah.
Also, honestly, like, there's, I don't know enough. Like, I don't have it completely dialed in as far as how the whole evolution of the culture worked out there, but there's a huge Japanese influence in Hawaii.
Right.
Some of the fish are even named Japanese names in Hawaii.
Wow.
Like shibi. I think that's a Japanese influence name. Ahi is that's a Hawaiian name. That means ahi in Hawaiian is fire.
Oh, okay. That's a fitting name for that fish.
So the way that I've heard that story is they used to hand line off of smaller vessels like outrigger canoe or whatever it is. They would hand line fish off of those, And whenever they would hook up a big yellowfin, because you can fish, I mean, sometimes you'll get a yellowfin, a big one, within like a mile of the island.
Wow.
So you just paddle out there, put your bait out.
Right.
And if you get a screamer like that, it goes over the side of like a wooden vessel, it starts to smoke the side of the vessel.
Wow.
Like the wooden edge.
Friction.
The friction starts to smoke it.
Wow.
And they called it ahi, like it's catching on fire.
It's catching the boat on fire.
It's catching the
literally
boat.
and figuratively, right?
Yeah.
That's holy moly. That's
why my boat is named the Hale Ahi. It's the home of ahis.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah. That's a really cool background story on the boat. Yeah, that's neat. That's neat. So you learned in Hawaii, or you at least got some experience and got some teaching from some of the locals who have been doing it really well, and then you obviously come back here to the Outer Banks, and now you find yourself trying to learn the ways of the Outer Banks and catch some of these big bluefin, yellowfin, big eyes, and things like that. That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a progression the whole time. I mean, I've been doing it about 15 years now, and I still feel like I'm like, how do I do this?
Sure, right.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's a constant like quest for like, how can I do it better? Even if you go out there and I've had days where I've caught like 20, 25 yellowfins, and I'm still like, man, I could have done that better.
Sure. Wow.
I wish I knew what I was doing.
Yeah, right, exactly. Wish I knew what I was doing out here. At 2 hours off the coast, right? My boat. Holy moly, man. That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat.
It's there. But then you have like people, the guys that are commercial fishermen out here that have done it for generations. That they have all those processes down to a science. And the whole movement of how everything migrates, and it takes. I mean, there's so many dynamics to the whole thing. It just kind of takes a while to dial it all. It takes forever to dial it in.
I can imagine. And one thing you need, correct me if I'm wrong, is you need good weather, which we haven't had here in at least a couple days. So we like to do these videos, like I said, because we can, one, show you our war room, which is very much a work in progress. But Dave, you got it looking pretty good in here, man. Talk a little bit about the war room. What you got going on in here? You got surfboards up top. People can't see that, but we got surfboards over here. We got lures, hooks, everything you could possibly imagine over here. We got the whiteboard for ideas. We got a hat making machine.
Yeah.
Gotta market these hats for sure, man. And the most important thing we can't forget, and we should have our first gong time. Show them what we got up here.
Well, I mean, if the gong is it's a lot. Good ideas. I mean, it's gonna mean a lot throughout this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's basically anytime something you have an epiphany about anything, it's like
or a good pun.
Pun,
epiphany, good pun, just a good idea. We're gonna go ahead and bam, hit that. Right, that's awesome, man. I really like that. Again,
he's gong and done it now.
There you go. First pun counter. 1. Gone and done it. I like that. Bam, looking good. But no, seriously, man, you have it going on in here. You got more equipment than I've ever seen. Which is pretty impressive. You got these ginormous rods over here, like I said, your lures. Those of you watching right now, we'll give you 20% off a hat if you can give us a war room idea that we really like, and we'll also give you one of these gongs. All right, send us in the comments below. Say, hey, you need this in your war room. If Dave and I like it and we put it in there, we'll give you 20% off a hat. Does that sound good to you, Dave? You're the boss man. I don't want to talk for you, man. You're the boss man, but give us some ideas about what could we include in this war room, because like I said, on days like this, we like to, one, make these videos where we kind of let the viewers in a little bit about who we are, what we do, and what this kind of community means to us. But like I said, we also like interacting and showing you the best Outer Banks content that we possibly can show you. That's going to kind of be our mission here with 2.5 Tuna. Show you great fishing, obviously. We want to really focus on the fishing and tuna specifically. Really focus on that, but we're going to do our best to give you some really cool Outer Banks content here on the show. That's the hope, anyway.
I mean, everything is migratory out here, as far as like where we're most of the time we're at. So whatever's there is what we're going to be catching.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I gotcha.
A lot of time, I mean, the tuna fishing is pretty amazing out here.
Sure.
It's pretty much 70% of the year, and then it kind of like dwindles a little bit, but then it comes right back. So
nice. Really cool.
But I mean, it's endless out here.
For sure. It's one of the, certainly on the East Coast, but probably really in the world, it's one of the premier fishing places probably around.
It's definitely a bullseye for fish, like for fish feeding, like just how it's all set up here.
Yeah, absolutely. But speaking of Hawaii, right, we're gonna have our first ever mail time on the show. So let's give one quick gong for mail time because that's pretty sweet. But we got some mail all the way from where?
This is from
Hawaii, right?
Honolulu, Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many miles is that from here?
Oh man.
5,000?
How far is it across country?
3,000 at least. It's like
in that scenario, and then I think it's more than that to Hawaii. Hawaii is the most isolated place on the planet.
Wow.
As far as like,
so it's probably like 6,000 miles at least.
Something like that.
We're about as far east as you can go, right? And then it'd be about as far west as you
I think
go.
Cape Hatteras is the most eastern point in the United States.
Gotcha. Yeah, seems right.
And then Hawaii is the most isolated place.
Sure.
And that's where these babies are from.
Nice. And I know you're excited, and I know you've waited to open these, right? If you can see here, I don't know if the camera can pick it up. This is sealed, right? We haven't opened these bad boys yet. So let's see, man. What you got to show us here?
Well, I mean, so yeah, out in Hawaii, there's a lot of lure makers in Hawaii that are home. It's like a garage band.
Sure.
They
homegrown, right?
Yeah,
custom.
They make custom lures right out of their house or their shops and everything. And it's pretty much how it works. Is whoever makes the best lure is the one that gets the business. You know, like I mean, it's because everybody wants what's catching the fish.
Sure.
Yep. So these are.
We're not going to give you all our secrets, but we'll try to give you some, right?
These lures here are. I worked with Alan Sato at Gaji Lures, and we kind of went back and forth, and he would. Originally, I just had his lures. I bought them from a shop, and then I was like, man, I made contact with him, and then he was willing to like help me out and like and like colors and all that stuff. It's they're amazing lures. But
so you actually work with this guy on custom colors and things like that. We'll put that link in the there you go, you got some logos and stuff. We'll put that link in the description so you guys can check it out. What's it, Gaji?
Gaji Lures.
Wow. Honolulu, Hawaii. Dang, check that out. How about a gong for Gaji Lures?
Yeah.
Man, that's sweet. Yeah, we'll definitely put that link in the description because like I said, that's an interesting process because when I buy a lure, I'm just like, oh, this color looks good, and I go for it. You're actually, I'll put this over here. Yeah. You're actually working with people who are making these and creating custom colors. Look at that thing.
Yeah, these are
holy moly.
These are custom made. They're poured in resin.
Hold that up. Make sure the camera can see it because that is freaking sweet.
And I believe it's on a lathe, and then he takes them down to the shape. I mean, I think they're poured into a mold, and then they're buffed out, and then he cuts the back the skirt channel off the back.
The craftsmanship on that, like just doing up close, and again, I don't know if like the camera does it justice, but that is unbelievable. The craftsmanship on that.
Yeah, not only that, like so these are jet ports right here that come through the head, and it makes it look like you have a bubble trail coming out of the gill plate, which you would on a regular fish.
No way.
Yeah. So when you're
holy cow.
Yeah, I mean
go for it. Oh, it's a little heavy too.
Yeah,
so you get a nice and
you want them heavy.
Yeah.
Especially for heavier seas, especially wintertime Gulfstream out here. So they drive and.
Like I said, I'm gonna take a picture of this and we'll post it on our Instagram and so people can get a closer look at this thing because like I said, the craftsmanship on this is next level.
Oh no, they're way next level.
Yeah. Oh my lord.
Like I really, if I weren't doing this for 2.5 tune, I wouldn't even show these things.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. That's exactly
these are
right.
like secret.
Yeah.
Secret lures.
Sacred, man. Holy
sacred
moly.
and
yeah.
Sacred and secret.
Man, two punts in one episode. Let's go. 2 punts. It's gonna get very punny up in here.
Yeah.
So what made you to decide? Because they're both the same color scheme. You got the. Now, how will this go? Will this be blue on top, pink on the bottom?
Well,
and what made you decide these colors? I guess.
Well, a lot of time, like basically most of the colors that you're. I mean, every once in a while there'll be a color that you just had no clue, like why is that even a possibility? But
right.
Normally it's like what are they eating out there, and it's gonna be squids.
So maybe that's a pink.
Mackerel, like Boston mackerels right now. Bluefish, they love to eat bluefish out there this time of year. Yeah.
Wow.
The bluefins anyway. So you just kind of try to put a spread out there that matches up to all those things, and then if they start keying in on one thing, then you just kind of swap them over. But like normally that pink right there, they love that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter what it was.
Right.
Like that soft kind of pink to it, blue top.
I imagine the sun too, because the way that he's kind of laid this resin, like I bet it kind of shimmers a little bit to some extent, or like like I said, I bet it really.
Well, there's the rest of the lure too. Like these in Hawaii, they're gonna skirt them out, and they have like the skirts that you can get in Hawaii are a lot better than what you can the variety. I mean, you can order them online and everything, but they have some shops out there, some tackle shops that have everything that you need.
Wow. So show me, like, I know you got an example over there of something with a skirt. You got anything over there with something with a skirt?
Yeah, I've got skirts, but like...
Without giving away too many of our trade secrets.
Yeah, I mean...
We don't want to do that.
So...
Oh, there you go.
I mean, I've got a ton in here.
Yeah, I was going to say, no shortage. Okay.
This is another one of Alan's lures here.
Again, that same kind of color.
Yeah, this is a skirted look here. This is going to be more of that this is called the bleeding squid right here.
Okay.
So he's like inking out or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, I got you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I see that. I don't know if, like I said, I'll try to see the camera picking it up. It's got like the bleeding.
Yeah.
And it's again the same pink color, but again, obviously the skirt on this with the black and pink color scheme. Pretty sweet, man. Pretty sweet. And then so what do you put on the back of this? Would this be a...
There's no... You'd put a hook.
Just put a hook on the back of that. Wow. And what size hook would you use? Well, you got an example?
Yeah, I got hooks
Holy
here.
moly.
That's a 12. I think that's a 12 there, yeah. But you just get that hook.
Kind of like that.
Back in the back there.
Wow.
Yeah, just send it. I mean, there's tons of different ways to rig them. I'm not trying to show anybody how to rig a lure here, but pretty much right about in there.
And then how many typically of these setups would you be dragging or trolling?
I mean, there's so much variety. Like, I mean, every boat's different too. If you're in the mosquito fleet, you're going to be dragging probably six lines.
Go mosquito fleet. That's kind of where we live, right? Right. I mean, we like all these guys. We want everybody to catch fish. We want everybody to catch fish. We want everybody to have a good time, and certainly respect the ocean. But if we had to characterize ourselves right now, we're probably the mosquito.
Oh, for sure.
Mosquito fleet.
I'm not trying to jump a level.
Sure.
I'm mosquito. I'm mosquito commercial though.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't have my charter license right now, so I can only recreational fish
Gotcha.
or commercial
But if you do
fish.
catch a fish, that the commercial license, and correct me if I'm wrong, this might be good for our viewers who are like interested in possibly doing this.
Yeah.
If you take that step up and get the commercial license, does that mean you can then sell your fish? Is that?
I mean, it does mean that, but there's a lot to that.
Sure.
I mean, it's not. You got to first of all. I mean, you got to get the commercial fishing license.
Right.
You have to have all the safety gear.
Right. Right.
That being said, with just those two pieces right there, it's a lot of money.
Sure.
You have
Sure.
to have-
Right. No, like this isn't just, hey, I'm going to go for a weekend and be a commercial fisherman, right? It's
Yeah, I mean,
a little more to it than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you have, a lot of standards that you have to meet.
Right. Right.
To be able to do that.
Right. But
and
like I
then-
said, if you have everything in a line,
Yeah.
there is potential that if you catch one, that then you can sell it to a fish market or something. of
Yeah,
that
I mean,
nature,
the way I got into that whole scenario was in Hawaii also, because I had commercial fishing license out there,
Right.
which allowed you to sell fish on the side of the road,
Wow, that's cool.
which was awesome
I
out
was gonna
there.
Should we eat a 2.5 tuna shack? You know what I mean? Like a 2.5 tuna shack, or we just do? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We should do that. We should do that.
Like
Watch the channel so we can start our own 2.5 tuna shack.
2.5 tuna shack, like what type of shack? I mean,
like
I've got a 2.5 tuna shack here.
Yeah, that's true. We could like a side of the road shack where we're just selling
selling fish?
tuna. Yeah.
Yeah, that you can't do that in the Outer Banks. You can do it in Currituck.
Sure. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just ride up there.
That's where everybody sells on the side of the road, but you
okay.
can't do it
Yeah.
in the Outer Banks.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Out here, you got to get. Yeah, it has to be a fish market or fish house.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I guess that makes sense.
But yeah, Currituck
Yeah.
you can.
Can't go up and do it. 2.5 tuna shack. keep in the back of our minds. If you want to see a 2.5 tuna shack, comment below and let us know. All right. But anyway, like I said, you obviously have a multitude of equipment. Like I said, a lot of money goes into this, a lot of time goes into this.
Oh yeah.
It's not just like you said, you're picking up your rods and saying, all right, I'm gonna go be a tuna fisherman today. It doesn't work like that, does it?
I mean, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
it's
Right.
like just because it's
Just to get to the mosquito fleet, I mean, you got to have, to be that level, right? You got to have a pretty good expertise, a pretty good knowledge. And by mosquito fleet, you're talking a lot about the center consoles, right? That are kind of out there every once in a while trying to keep up with some of these commercial guys.
all right. Yeah.
Is that the skeeter fleet? The skeeter fleet?
The mosquito fleet is
Yeah.
basically it's comprised of like center console. It's recreational fishermen.
I got you.
But you can probably disguise yourself as not being in the mosquito fleet
Gotcha.
if you have a bigger boat, but you're
Gotcha.
still recreational fishing.
I see.
Yeah. But if you're a center console
Right.
out there, you're in the mosquito fleet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because all the commercial and charter guys, they're working an area, and then if they see you coming, they're like, you're annoying. You're
Yeah, like a-
annoying. You're
like a
annoying
mosquito.
me like a
Right,
mosquito.
right, like a mosquito.
And you have outboards which are like.
I got you. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
I got it. Yeah,
get
yeah.
off of me.
Yeah, all the old salty guys are like, get away from me, right? Yeah, that's funny. That's funny, man. Well, that's neat. That's neat. But yeah, Dave, like I said, you got it looking good down here. We're going to do the best we can, weather permitting, which obviously right now the weather isn't great, but we're going to do the best we can to give you some of the best fishing content, tuna fishing content primarily on the Outer Banks. But we're not going to limit ourselves to just tuna fishing. We're going to try to give you some great offshore fishing, obviously inshore fishing. Try to do some surfing and just show you a good time here in the Outer Banks. That's our goal. But yeah, Dave, thanks for taking the time to let me in your war room, and hopefully the viewers. Again, comment. What do you want to see in this war room? All right, what do we need? You got it looking good, Dave. But what else can we add to this? And like I said, be sure to check out 25tuna.com and reach out to either Dave and Grady. We'd love to take some of your questions and have a little Q&A.
Or yeah,
period.
whatever somebody can send us to the war room too, like as far as like stickers or
definitely
any lure makers or just a sticker. I mean, we're not looking for a handout or anything. Just, that'd be cool. Like
Yeah.
just have everybody's
Definitely. Let us know. Yeah, let us know. So you know, if you want to send us some stuff, like I said, we'll put our PO box. We better get a PO box, right?
Yeah.
We better get a PO box, right? We got to get on that. Hey, PO box, right? PO box. Yeah, we'll put that in the description as well. So you guys, like I said, if you want to send us maybe some lures, if you want us to do you know, a walkthrough of your lure, or like I said, you just want to send us a sticker, put your name out there, we'd be happy to do that. But for Dave, I'm Grady. This is 25 Tuna, and we'll see you next time.
Aloha.